Story 1. Saw the boss who fired me yesterday and it's not going well for him.
3 years ago, I was fired from a stained glass studio where I worked as an artist, glass painter and designer, for being vocal about company safety. The owner made me the safety person because I had come from a studio that took safety seriously. I read OSHA manuals and gave so many suggestions about unsafe practices we had in the studio handling lead, acid, and other dangerous materials. After a few years of my suggestions being mostly ignored, someone, actually not me, called OSHA during COVID when my coworkers were not masking. The boss suspected it was me since I was the most vocal about safety, and they rehired my replacement shortly after, removed my safety person duties, and fired me after enough time had passed that it wouldn't look suspicious. They cited lack of work but had just hired someone and were firing me instead? It doesn't add up. All in all, this was a place where my contributions and expertise were largely unacknowledged and unappreciated. At the time, I had been pursuing my own work as an artist. When I was fired, I had no idea how or if I would be able to make ends meet in Los Angeles, but I did. In fact, this firing was the best thing that could have happened for my career. Last night, I saw this boss/owner at an event. The studio is doing so poorly that he had to cut everyone's hours to 2 days a week. Many people are looking for new jobs. He said, "I heard you had a show, and yes, I actually have a solo show up with a major gallery, have more than $30,000 in savings, and so much work on the horizon I'm booked through 2026. I said, "Yes, things are going really well," and flashed him a huge smile. Success is truly the best revenge.
Comment 1. Congratulations and very well done. Comment 2. Check out OSHA whistleblower protection. Comment 3. Your boss is dumb if he thinks you called OSHA. You were in charge of safety for 3 years and never called OSHA, then randomly change your mind? It was either a newish hire, or somebody whose family member was affected by COVID. Comment 4. I got fired and 21 knew it was coming. New company owner who didn't like women. Ran into him earlier this year at the post office, his company card declined for stamps, right in front of me. Oh, and I make like $6 more at the new job. He did me a solid.
Story 2. Paid for a Karen's order.
This just happened and I wanted to immortalize it while I'm still riding the victory high. So I'm in the McDonald's line and I get a small order. As I'm pulling forward, this lady with a massive car tries to cut me in line. It's one of those lawless 2 lanes, I'd usually let it slide, but today I was not having it. So when she's not moving, I slowly take my place back in line. As I am driving, this lady loses it. She's screaming and cussing at me from her car. I look at her and smile. I even gave her a heart with my hands. In return, she flips me off. So here is when the revenge comes. I'm at the counter and I had a really small order, a hash brown and a Diet Coke, so I didn't have much to pay. I decided to ask the cashier, "Hey, how much is the one behind me?" Cashier says that it was something like $32, and that's when I knew my chance appeared. I paid this lattice whole order and left her a little note that just said, "Be nicer." I then sat in the parking lot and ate my food as I watched her speed off. I went back in line for an update, and another hash brown. This lady wanted to refund the money and use hers, but she wasn't allowed. So now she was stuck with a free breakfast and a humble reminder to be nicer, smiley face. Yeah, it cost me $32, but the joy I felt seeing her speed off is priceless. Edit. Wow, okay, there is a lot of many comments. I did not expect this to blow up, but here are some clarity/tidbits. Why did I pay for it? I had a little extra cash, so I just went for it. I get paid in a week and am not that strapped for cash. I would have taken both orders. Well, that was $30 worth of food. It's just me and my dog at home, so I would have just wasted it, which defeats the purpose. Shed just order it again and then that's a meal wasted. And B, a little personal note, but lately I've been doing a lot of introspection on how people deal with emotions. I've found most people lash out because of stress going on in their life. I have a few family members who, whenever going gets tough, they'll make it everyone else's problem. That is not how I want to live, how I want to treat people and how I want to be treated. Yes, she was a Karen, I just used that word for clickbait, forgive me, but she's still a human with a family and maybe kids to feed. Why make her shitty day more shitty when I could show her compassion that she might need? Moral of the story is, I know this isn't super deep petty revenge, but I think it's a more wholesome revenge. A family got to eat for free, I got to piss off a woman who tried to cut me off, smiley face. Thanks again for the comments, I'm at work RN so I can't read them all but know when I get home I'm upvoting every single one. Edit 2. So reading the comments now, and this isn't a super big deal, but I'm actually a dude lol. Thanks a bunch though, also thanks for the awards.
Comment 1. I would watch a live stream of her eating her breakfast through gritted teeth with absolute rage and fury, and not enjoying it one bit. Only tasting bitterness. Comment 2. I loathe the double lane. Comment 3. Well done, OP. This reminds me of one of the Cinderella movies, The Slipper and the Rose maybe? Where Cinderella blurts, "In my happiness, I forgive you all," and as she rides away with the prince, her stepmother snarls, "How dare she forgive me?" Mean people can't defend against someone being overwhelmingly kind to them. Comment 4. Killed her with kindness. Bravo friend. You foo **** ed her day up in the nicest way possible.
Story 3. I left a fake note saying, "Sorry I spilled coffee on your stuff," after someone claimed all the best seats at the cafe.
So, the gist is in the title, but hey Race, what happened? I was trying to find a table at this packed coffee shop near my apartment, the kind of place that always has people hovering for seats. After doing a few laps, I noticed one guy had taken over 3 prime spots near the window with his stuff, laptop, notebook, coffee, and even a second chair for his bag. After a good 15 minutes of circling, I finally found a tiny spot in the corner. Irritated at the sheer audacity, I left a little note on his chair that said, "Sorry if I spilled coffee on your stuff, but you probably won't notice the stain." When I got back after a quick errand, I saw the guy frantically inspecting his things, looking super annoyed and talking to someone on his phone. No clue who he was venting to, but I kind of feel for them having to listen to him.
Comment 1. This is actually perfect for this sub, I love it.
Comment 2. Caffeinated pettiness. Delicious.
Comment 3. ID just relocate his bag out the back somewhere, where it's secure enough. Or hand it to the manager and say it was left out front. Or a variation. Smiley face. Comment 4. That is petty AF. Congrats.
Story 4. Karen on a plane.
So this happened back in June, but told the story to some friends last night and they unanimously said I should share it here. So on June 26th, I was on a 2-hour flight and I had booked the emergency row for the extra legroom. When I got onto the plane, my window seat companion had stored all of her bags under not only her seat, but my seat as well. A polite request to move them didn't suffice, so the FA needed to get involved. FA basically told her she had to move them from under my seat and walked away. She begrudgingly did, swearing at me under her breath the whole time, but just left them on the floor. Right before takeoff, the FA came around again and told her she had to store them overhead, and she refused to do so. After being threatened with being kicked off the plane, she did it, muttering under her breath that I was a bye. Over the next 2 hours, as I try to work on my laptop, she got up to get out of her seat no less than 13 times, I counted. Each time she stood in the aisle, did a small stretch, smirk at me, and then got back in her seat. 8-10 minutes later, repeat. Once we took off, I noticed that she was reading a book. Being fed up after her 8th time getting up, I paid the $11.30 to purchase Wi-Fi on the plane. Once connected, I logged on to Goodreads to get the spoilers and find out the ending of the book. Hey Race, where the petty revenge comes in. As we were starting our descent, I called over the flight attendant, and I let her know that I would need help disembarking, and as such would be remaining in my seat until all of the other passengers had disembarked. I could hear the audible mumbling beside me, and once the flight attendant walked away, I turned over and gave her the exact same smirk she had been giving me. Once the flight landed and docked at the gate and all other 30-something rows had gotten off, I slowly stood up, gathering my stuff and start exiting the plane. When I got to the business class section, I turned around, looked at her and destroyed the book for her, telling her major plot points and what the entire ending of the book was going to be. Then with a parting "have a great day," I walked off.
Comment 1, brilliant. Sometimes you gotta hit M where it hurts.
Comment 2. I've had it with these motherfucking Karens on this motherfucking plane. Comment 3. I still vividly remember the instance where I was told the exact page number Dumbledore died. It's been 20 years and I'm still annoyed about it. Good job. Edit. Spelling.
Comment 4. I can't fathom the sense of entitlement people must hold to put their things in someone else's seat space, and then the audacity to be upset when made to move it. Yours was perfectly petty revenge.